Welcome to the Dr. Sophie Rothschild Show. I hope you're having a good day wherever you are in the world. Quick point of order here. A lot of times, the people, whether it's government or private people, whether it's government or whether it's individuals, they're giving away all these billions of dollars. But the problem is that a lot of this doesn't really solve any social problems. It creates dependency. So if you look in the Bible, right, you see that like in the when the people of Israel entered the land, what they did, they developed the land, and every tribe are part of land, and the families within the tribes have land and land ownership, um, and to become self-sufficient. So likewise, the methodology should be, okay, you sir, to give a person a no interest loan or a grant to start a business, develop some technology, develop a business idea, develop an invention or a major productive endeavor, buy up some land so that they can create wealth. When you create wealth, people become self sufficient and independent. All right. Now, a lot of people like to give away money, but a lot of it is there as a form of virtual signaling. Well, okay, good. But in, say, 20, 40, 50 years, that's not solving the problem. You can't, people can't be bought. Money doesn't change who people are, it only brings out who they are. As my father once says, so my recommendation is, as we invest the concepts in the Bible, you want to, yeah, you give a person, let's say, a grant to the business or a loan, no interest loan, start business, or to purchase some land, build some investment, create some form of business idea, develop some technology where some people can become self-sufficient and create wealth. Wealth creation have left more people out of poverty than all these social programs that are nothing more than virtue signaling and basically, all that stuff. Yes, there's nothing wrong with, food pantries in case of natural disasters, but you want to create a society that creates self-sufficiency and dependency, no, self-sufficiency and independence from handout. For example, owning their own land, gives the people some money, also a grant or a no interest loan to buy some land or start a business, develop some invention to technologies to become sufficient and live a life of dignity, not a life of living off people's handout. And also remember this, money don't change people. Money only brings out who you a person already is, right? So we also need to understand that, right? And that's my little take. That's a little reminder of how we should do it. If you're for more information, you can read in the Bible how when the Israelites settled the land and how they developed the land and everybody had land, so nobody had to rely on welfare programs. People were landowners. Okay. Now, number two, also in the Bible, certain deaths were canceled every 7 years. Why? Because the God of the Bible wanted people every 7 years certain debts were canceled, and every 3 years certain deaths were also canceled. So people again didn't were self-sufficient, and we had a society based on productive endeavors, not a society of usury and relying on living off the sweat and hard work of others to, you know, um, being a money changer, money changer, and how to manipulate people through through all these. instruments. So, like I said, in the Bible, in the Bible, it's every 7 years, some deaths were canceled. Every 50 years, so also deaths were canceled. So, and that again creates a society in which people was self-sufficient, but also based on real productive endeavor, which is what would be like in the Messianic age. As you can read more about that in Isaiah 60, in Isaiah chapter 65. You can read more about that. All right. Thank you so much again. Have a good day.